Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Premier Boxing Promotions' first press conference of 2019 here at the Edmonton Eagles Amateur Boxing Club. I'd like to thank you for joining us in the build-up to our April the 20th card at the Pickett's Lock Sports Centre in the Lee Valley. Tickets are on sale now, and the event itself will be broadcast live on Hellenic Television. Before I hand over to Dr. Evangelou, I'd like to quickly mention our sponsors, who are the following: Personal Performance CBD, Pumping Iron Gym London, Hellenic Television, Edmonton Eagles Amateur Boxing Club, Indulgence Hair and Beauty, Rigford, The Ability Group, Hilton London Scion Park, The Alchemist, Flash Fitness, Spray Tech, and the British Board of Boxing Control. I'd now like to hand over to Dr. Evangelou, MBE.
Thank you. Welcome. It's been a good build-up to this 2019 show in Lee Valley, and we have a wonderful card. A lot of aspiring prospects who are going to achieve, I know, on the domestic level and highest level, and also internationally, and looking forward to world honours. So before I move on to say anything else about the show, I just want to invite John to introduce who's here this evening, so for your benefit to know who will be on the card and how the show's going to unfold. So John.
Okay, so I'm just going to run through the card. My name's John. A couple of the people that are seated here today who have joined this wonderful press conference. Sitting down there is a well-known professional boxing trainer, Mr. Gary Innes, our man from Ghana, Mr. Suleiman Ulahi, where are you? And as well as Christian Andreas and everybody at the top table. Julian, who's the most amazing man, does a fantastic job, unheralded, but he's much better than everything I've seen. And Mr. Mark Lyons, who's sitting over there, the promoter Mark Lyons, who's a wonderful friend of the Costas's. So just a big round of applause for everybody who's Right, so those are the people here, some of the people here. So let's have a look at some of the fights that Costas has put together after a fantastic debut show last time out. So I'm going to bring in, he's my favourite man because he's a music man like me, Humza Awan, who really looked very impressive on his debut against a pretty tough opponent. So Humza, on your debut, I watched the fight. Just tell me what your game plan was on that fight and how you felt going through it and how you felt at the end after your arm was raised.
Is this working? Turn it up. Turn it on. Switch. That's on.
Hello? Yes. Okay. Sorry, what was the question?
So the question is, on your debut, the opponent was tough, but you won the fight, obviously. How did you feel your debut went, and how did it feel at the end after victory?
Going into the fight, I hadn't fought for about 2 years, so there was a certain level of uncertainty whether I was going to be rusty. We prepared well in the gym. We felt that came through on the night. I had a lot of positive comments following the fight. A lot of people said that I should have been more aggressive and I should have knocked the guy out. But at this level, I didn't feel like there was anything to prove by knocking out someone at the bottom of the rankings. You know what I mean? So I didn't want to look awkward or tight or nervous during the fight, and I felt like I looked relaxed and showed my ability.
Are you going for this fight coming up? We don't know who the opponent is, obviously, but for this fight coming up, because I think relaxation is obviously very important. Any trainer would say, Julian, Gary, anybody else, Costas, the relaxation. Are you going to be bringing that to the table next time?
Yeah, of course, because with stepping into the ring, professional ring for the first time, I liken it to stepping into the amateur ring for the first time. It's in a lot of ways very similar to sparring in the gym, but what makes it difficult are the little differences. You know what I mean? The softness of the canvas, or the stairs walking up into the ring. Those are the things that really impact you going into a fight for the first time. So my thinking going into the first professional bout was, what is going to be different? and not much apparently. So now with that uncertainty being cleared now, I'm going into the next one.
So lastly, your preparation for this fight, is it going to change from the first fight, or is it more of the same thing, or a bit of both?
Well, we're always in the gym working. We don't train in camps. We're always in the gym throughout the whole year. So my training's been very much the same, but I am by far a better fighter now than I was November last year.
Right. Well, that's
far better.
great.
So I'm looking forward to the 20th of April.
And I just want to bring you here, Andreas. I mean, he's not your weight. I mean, Aaron's not your weight. But how have you been impressed, truthfully, with Hunter since before his first fight and leading up to this one that's coming up in April?
Hamza's been at the gym for, I can't remember how many years ago now.
8, 9.
So 8 or 9 years, and he's in here more than anyone. Every single day I see him. Every day I come here, I coach a bit, I train a bit, but Hamza's always here. Like my brother and I, we didn't just want to stay in our little pocket in London. We travelled the world to get the best we can get, and Hamza's travelled to LA, trained in some of the toughest gyms out there. And my brother and I did as well, and they're tough guys. And when you're out of your comfort zone, they always want to beat up a British guy. They're all lining up. Is that what you found?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, oh yeah, I'll take him, I'll take him. So you've got that pressure, and he went in deep waters, and that sparring that with me and my brother and probably Hamza had was tougher than a lot of our pro fights that we've had anyway.
Wow, really?
So there was good prep, and we done it when we were amateurs as well, and it was tougher than the amateur fights. So putting yourself out there to really dedicate yourself to the sport is exactly what Hamza's doing, and he's on the right track. And with as in regards to his boxing, I was sparred him for a while, but every time we did spar, it was first off when he first came, it wasn't too difficult, and then harder and harder and harder until we were having good, entertaining fights, and maybe one day we'll do it in the ring. No, I'm not calling you out, we're not having a fight. We are still fighting, but it will be entertaining if we did. Am I right? But we're never fighting, but it would be entertaining.
Well, that's really interesting that he's following the same path, going all, because I mean, the trainers, Gary, everyone first tell you that in this game, you've got to get, I mean, what did Nigel Benn do? Nigel Benn got on his bike, went to Sheffield, went to America, went everywhere, just got in his car and just went and sparred. And that's very important, not to stay in your home zone all the time. So moving on to Aaron. Aaron, you made your debut. I've got to be honest, I came a little bit late and I missed your fight, unfortunately. However, how did you feel after your debut at the Lee Valley last time?
I was very relaxed during the event. I wasn't fazed by the crowd or anything like that. Is this on? Yeah.
Yeah, it's on.
My preparation wasn't the best. I injured my hand, so before the fight.
Was that in sparring?
Yeah, in sparring. So a couple of weeks leading up to, there was it 3 weeks? There was no real training. I couldn't use my left hand.
Wow.
But I just got in the ring, done what I needed to do, and yeah, I'm happy with the result.
So the cruiserweight division is quite interesting, and like every division it's a lot more competitive than it ever was. And we can go back in yesteryear, and there were very few cruiserweights. Now there's quite a lot more. So do you see yourself in the long term staying at cruiser, or is there a chance you might move up to heavyweight?
I think naturally I'm more cruiser. Heavyweights now are like 6 or 7.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's not for me.
So you're going to stay at cruiser. Could you do light heavy, or is it cruiser? Bang on cruiser.
Yeah, I say I'm more cruiser.
And sparring wise, are you going to different gyms, or are you staying at Edmonton, or what? Sorry, I'll get rid of that. Sorry.
You thought the jet.
Can't speak, sorry. That's my son, sorry. Let me turn his phone on. So, the sparring, is it hard to find sparring partners given your weight? Is it harder than, say, Hunter, who's lighter weight, or even Chris?
You'd have to speak to my coach.
Alright, let's bring in Julian here. Aaron's passed the buck, that's no problem. So let's talk about his preparation last time and this time. Has it been easy to get sparring partners for Aaron? Because he's a big guy, you know, he's a hard hitter.
Yeah, there's guys out there that we can approach for sparring. At the moment, we've been keeping a lot of the work in the gym, and just a lot of improvements on certain areas of their boxing, developing their boxing skills, their footwork, the defence, and yeah, just moving on to this next fight. Hopefully, we'll get the W again for both of them.
Well, that would be really excellent. So we thank you very much. Thanks, Aaron. So we're going to move on to a couple of the other guys on the card now. Introduce a welterweight who's over there. I haven't seen you fight, Keown, but I've seen you spar. In fact, we brought a sparring. You don't know this, but we brought a sparring partner down to the crunk a long time ago. I'm afraid he got knocked out very quickly, inside about 15 seconds.
Oh, for
So
real?
I know about your power, right? So you've been out for a while.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I have no idea why, but it's up to you if you want to explain it. But you must be looking forward to coming back. And the fact you're unbeaten and you've had a lot of fights, what's going to happen now for Keown? What's going to happen?
First is just to get this fight, get through this fight, you know, have the fight, and is this on? Am I talking?
Put it closer.
Oh, wait. No.
That's it.
Yeah?
That's
Okay, I'm feeling that. Yeah, so first is to have the fight and, you know, shake off all the rust and just get back to normal and just keep on doing what I'm doing, winning fights, you know, whether I knock them out, whether I don't knock them out, win every round is what I always aim to do, you know, and then just put on a good show for all the people that come to watch me fight.
How long have you been out now?
My last fight was October 2017, so a year and a half. Been
It's
out.
a year and a half, yeah, so
Yeah.
it's quite a way out.
Yeah.
But I think the ring rust, obviously, you know, I have a couple of fights, the ring rust will definitely go. So I want to bring in Chris, because of course Chris, you was a welter, weren't you?
Yeah.
And therefore, being a welterweight, please, obviously we've got Hamza and now we've got Keown. Just tell me the difference, if you're a welterweight, because I remember you used to spar with Ashley Theophane a lot, and it was a certain kind of spar. Is it more, for Keown and for Hamza, is it more a technical thing at the lower weight, or is there no difference at all in sparring? Because I'd be very interested, especially with Keown coming back, and how do you feel that, that as a welterweight, that his sparring preparation should be as same as when you were?
You know, when as a welterweight, or previous welterweight, or a little bit heavier now, 10 kilos heavier, but I found that there were so many welterweights and light middleweights out there that you're getting a lot of sparring, and it was kind of, we were quite fortunate where on the top end of the scale, the heavyweights, there's not much sparring out there, there's very few people, you have to travel a long way to get these big guys to spar. Also, if you're really lightweight as a man, a natural man, you're going to find it hard to find sparring. So as a welterweight, you're kind of sport for choice. Me and my brother, as my brother said, that we travelled a lot. We went to America and we went to the Mayweather gym, and nearly every boxer in there was a welterweight, junior middleweight, and that's when you know, with Ashley Theophane as well, light welter, welter.
Exactly.
I know they've changed the name now to like super lightweights and stuff. But
Whatever, it's still
I'm
the
old
same.
school.
Isn't it?
So yeah, I guess at that weight is a lot more technical, because some of the best boxers in the world are welterweights, and when you're watching these guys fight, you're gonna try and emulate what they're doing because they're at the top end. You know, they've got the you know, Mayweather, for example. You're gonna try and steal things from him and work on your own abilities with watching these guys, and it is very, very technical. I think boxing should be all technical, supported by superior fitness, of course. But yeah, definitely at welterweight. Hamza, I mean, we've never sparred, obviously, because, you know, I was a bit older than you. How old are you, by the way?
I'm 27.
27, yeah, I'm older than you. So, you know, with Hamza, he's a very, very technical fighter, very technical, and growing up through the boxing years with Hamza, he's really become his own style now, and that's like sort of at the beginning of your professional career, you kind of try and be safe, but I think in his next few fights he's really going to find his own style, especially with the technique he's got. He's a counter puncher, but you know, everyone can say, oh, you've got to be more aggressive. The people that say that are probably never boxed a day in their life. You know, you get in the ring, alright? So, you know, Hamza done very well in his first fight. I was very impressed. And a lot of people were that don't even know Hamza. They weren't biased. They just said that guy with the, you know, the braided hair was really good. You know, just so you know that, Hamza, by the way.
So the fact that you and your brother and Ashley Theophane, of course, because he went to the Mayweather gym and he actually got a proper world title shot. He went about as far as he could.
I think he's still fighting.
Yes, he is. For Hamza and for Keown, right, as welterweights and with the Mayweather tradition and everything else, do you think that they need to go to America, or, you know, should they follow in the path of you and Andreas and Ashley?
It's a good question. I mean, obviously you've got to have the support to do that. You can't just hop on a plane and get to Vegas and pay for everything and that. You've got to have a balance in your life, and we were fortunate enough to be supported. I gave my life to boxing at that, those sort of ages, and I fought my way into the Mayweather gym. It's not that easy. You can't just go, oh, can I spar and get sparring there. You've got to work your way in, and I'm sure these guys are good enough to go there and do that, but it's up to you. There's, Europe's a big place as well, and Europe's got some of the best boxers as well. It's not just about going to America. Go and get sparring in different places. Don't stay in your gym, don't stay in your comfort zone. You keep beating up someone every day, you're never going to get better. You're going to get that person better, and that's the problem with boxing. It's not a problem. That's the thing with boxing. You're only going to get better by sort of getting beaten up a little bit, and I'm sure you're agreeing that you need to find the sparring out there, all different varieties of sparring. I think we've sparred as well, haven't we? You've got to find guys who are, that come forward, who counter punch, who are bigger, who are smaller, because you've got every single round you're learning. So you do need to go out there into the world. Don't stay, in Edmonton or wherever you were born and expect to be, go on to fight the best in the world, because you need to go out there and get a variety of sparring.
Well, I've got to say that's the most brilliant answer, and I think that's no, it is. It's clarified. That was a question I wanted to clarify a lot of things. So just a quick one for Carl. Yeah, we've known each other many years. Just tell me, as a resident of this borough, right, and Tottenham and everything else, all you see, how proud are you of what Costas and his team is finally achieving promotionally for this part of London? Because we've had nothing before Premier. We've had nothing really, have we?
I'm super proud. Is this the song as well?
It is on.
I mean, the last one was that show that Vernon did many years ago at the Tottenham Green, and that wasn't great, right? Compared to his show, compared to that was like Las Vegas compared to
Well, one thing I was very impressed with obviously the first show, because I thought for a first show it had everything. Had a lot of drama. There was a guy that busted his ankle. There was knockout. There was pendulum fights. It was really good. I remember we were fighting with it was a Yorkshire guy that was fighting the kind of. Was his name Snowy? The guy that you fought?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good little scrap and that. I see Hamza from the amateurs world develop, and it's slowly but surely it's growing. It's not. I wouldn't say it's been slowly and surely going, and now that's been going on for a while. You can kind of see where it's going and everything. Because I remember when you had the club wasn't here when it was before. When you used to have the ring used to pack up and everything. Yes, it's grown. It's crazy. It's crazy, and it's a blessing to see it as well.
Well, that's absolutely fantastic, and appreciate you saying that, because I know how long you strive yourself. You've been involved in boxing, everything, help the youth and everything else. So, it's nice to see that the family here is finally putting this part of London on the map.
It's definitely needed, especially in this time.
100%. That's brilliant. Can I just pass the mic to Gary just for a second? I'm going to ask Gary a question. Obviously, I know you were nodding when Chris was talking about the sparring, because that's what you always ever said. But what I want to know, I want to change the subject very quickly. When that show happened last time, I know you, when you go into shows, you have a nondescript look much of the time, the show's not very good. But when you were in that show last time, at the venue, you was bouncing around like you were Don King in Las Vegas 25 years ago.
Well, it was Las Vegas.
It was what?
It was Las Vegas.
Yes. So tell me why you like the venue and the whole show.
Well, the thing about it, when you've been in boxing for a long time, not only anticipation, you have that experience what a bill is supposed to look like, how it runs, the continuity of it. All these things, you have this expectation, and it was there. You couldn't believe where he was. It was there. I mean, this community didn't know what they really had, because it looked amazing.
It did. It's great that Costas is persisting.
Yeah.
With the venue. I think that's just a wonderful thing. Right, I'm gonna. Yeah. Yes.
You want me to speak for you?
Now, Mr. Yassin Al-Machi, the former prize fighter winner, the most avoided welterweight and junior middleweight in the history of European boxing, probably. Obviously, I was there when you come over from Holland, via your home country, and the struggles you had at the start. You've been obviously the most avoided fighter. No, I mean, you've beaten Junior Witter. He beat the former WBC World Champion Junior Witter in the prize fighter final. This man, hopefully, is not done, and hopefully with Costas, he's now going to achieve even greater things. Because tell me, I know you're in fantastic physical shape, you always were. How do you feel? You come back to boxing now, do you think you still got it?
Oh yeah, 100%. I still got it. I was in the gym last 2 weeks ago, sparring with the guys.
And sparring with him.
Yeah, I sparred with him as well.
I saw it, he stopped you, you had enough. I saw
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
Yeah.
Everyone's seen it, everyone saw it. I was sparring with him, I couldn't finish a round. But fair enough.
Exactly.
He's got more experience than me. If no one believes it, you can find it in his YouTube, my Twitter accounts and YouTube, you know?
You see, Yasin's one of those characters, he blows and breezes into a room and he has that ability to just to lift everybody up. That's his biggest asset as a community person. He just makes people feel happier just by his very presence. And hopefully, you know, you'll bring that spark. So you're going to be boxing, you're boxing on the show. No, you've got to get you're going to bet on the next one.
On June, yeah, next one. Yeah.
Okay, so at the moment you're training regularly. So just lastly, tell us, and obviously the TV, in a year's time, crystal ball, where you'd like to be boxing-wise.
Probably, I hope at the end of this year I will get a title shot. I get 2 warm-up fights, 3 warm-up fights. And if anyone here doesn't know my name or want to search for me, just type the most avoided boxer in UK and it will come up first. Yeah, this is how it is, and I hope with Costas I will get a title shot or European title.
That's
and
it.
the man here next to me can give us some help as well.
We've come from the beginning, bro.
Exactly. The first time I came to this country, I met him.
I mean, yeah.
With you,
It was in that car. Yeah, in the car.
You've seen me sparring. Who you saw me sparring with?
Josie.
Josie. And he said to me, "Dan, you would be a world champion." He said that to me a long time ago.
Don't make me wrong. I'm with you.
Yes.
So that's fantastic. So I think we'll see. Oh yes, sorry. Chavez. And is Chavez here? Yeah, sorry Chavez, I can't, my eyes aren't very good these days, I should be putting these on. So you were on the last show, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I watched your fight. You know, you look very, very, very good indeed. How did it was a big stage, because I think everybody, like I said, was surprised at how impressive the venue was. It was like, did you feel it was a big stage?
Yeah, definitely. I like the venue. It's a different atmosphere. And I said I put the box there again straight away.
And going forward, I mean, obviously you're very much a technician. That's what I saw. Just bringing your coach here, Xavier Miller. Is it? Give us some idea of the technical side, because I personally was very impressed with Chavez's technique. Is that something you're working on all the time in the gym?
Yeah, I mean, Chavez has been at my gym now for about 8 months, but he's had about 150 amateur belts.
Right.
So he's got good fundamentals. I was really impressed with his first fight with me. He did everything right. He worked really hard in training. Had a lot of good sparring. I've got a very big camper IQ, so most of the sparring was in-house.
Right, that's great.
Yeah, so he did really, really well. So I'm looking forward to his next fight.
So it's obviously, you know, it's all these divisions these days are a lot different to 10 or 20 years ago, and they're different in one main regard. There's a lot more boxers, right?
Yeah.
Particularly at welterweight, like Miller and the rest of it. So with Chavez, he looks so good. I mean, you don't have to answer this question, but is your idea with Chavez to get as many fights as possible and get him a shot to go right to the top of those charts, or are you going to take each step as it comes?
I mean, yeah, with all my boxers, I would like them to have as many fights as possible and get as much experience before they challenge for a title. Chavez has got basically everything, and he's technically very, very good. You know, it's just in this day and age you have to in some way stand out, but he's a pure boxer.
Yeah.
We don't have that many pure boxers, so I'm hoping that he can rise to the top and be recognised as one of those.
Well, that's fantastic. So I was right when, you know, I've never seen him box before, but he's definitely a technician, 100%.
Indeed.
Yeah. Well, that's brilliant. I think that's all the people here today. So I'm going to sign off, and I'm going to hand the mic back to Costas, who's going to take the floor for the rest of the press conference.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much.
Lots of questions. If anyone wants to ask any questions for anyone on the panel here, you're really welcome to this in a few moments. But just to say for myself, from my own perspective, I want to thank everyone for choosing Premier Boxing Promotions to box and showcase themselves. And I've seen like Chavez boxing on the last show is amazing, spectacular. I know it's going to go far. Continue keep doing your work that you're doing with your coach and your people, your top talent. And many of the boxers who are on the show, if not all, are top draw boxers with all opportunity to achieve the best in the sport that they can. And the role of Premier Boxing Promotions is to give a platform for all people to move on and to put the shine the spotlight on them. It's not about me in promotion or management, it's about them showcasing themselves. And you're only as good or as bad as you are in your preparation for the bouts. You do the work in the gym, you do the street work, you do the right sparring, and you just showcase yourself on the night. The battle is won and lost in your training. That's what I believe, and I've seen it for many years. And I also want to speak about Montague, we're hopefully all being well, working together. We're just going through the process of retaining the license. And as he's been the master vote, but I can say that if we get through all the preliminary things to get your license, we're going to do our best to give you the best opportunities you have to achieve what you should have achieved before. So we're going to do our best. You know, that's what we're here for. So let's move on. If anyone has any questions for anyone on the panel, please put your hand up, and feel free to fire away. Yeah,
I knew you'd do that.
if we hand the microphone at the back there, Jay will. Yeah. Just make sure it's on. Just ask. Feel free. It's a family atmosphere here. We're all here to help and support each other.
Hi everyone. Is this the only boxes?
No, we've got a card. If John can just read the list of the boxers of the night,
Okay.
and then you get an idea who's going to be on the show. Yeah.
Okay, so it's Hamza, Aaron, Andre Soteris. Is he here? He's not here, is he? Fuad the Pirate Hussein, Aaron the Sniper Sinclair, Louis Lights Out Live, Peter the Gypsy Milga, Matt Penworth. He's from Southend, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. Davis Pagan, good fighter, Matt. Davis Pagan, Georgie Bacon, Ollie Patterson. Is he here?
No.
He's Finch boy.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. Chavez, Kian, Tony Bange, Tony Bange, Mo Garib, Frank Arnold, and Kalia Karuni. The Pink Tyson. That's her moniker, isn't it?
Yes, that's
I kind of lost count. How many did I altogether?
It's 17 contests.
17.
It's a lot, isn't it? Shows have got to have that. It's economies of scale. You can't do an 8-fight show anymore. You have to get lots of fights on there. That's how it works in boxing, basically.
Can I just ask, because this is your second show,
Yes.
do you know when your next one's going to be?
Yeah, we have scheduled 4 for this year: July, October, and November.
I might just add something because I kind of box up, still box, but depending on what's going on with my thing. But apparently I'm out of contract,
Okay.
and I might be interested in coming to your show, your next one.
Okay.
But what I found interesting was that I didn't know that he was here. What's his name? Yaz.
Yes.
And I'll tell you a story about 3 or 4 years ago. I did a sparring with him with Don Charles's gym when he used to train Chris, and he was the only one that dropped me with a body shot. So he's really, really good. So, but he might be the one that made me want to come back. So when you do come back, maybe we'll have a rematch. I'm a bit more experienced now.
Thank you. Do you want to say your name to everyone so we know who you are?
My name is Tunji, Uncle T, 5-0, on the field, so I try to keep it that way when I face him.
Thank you.
Yeah, but Tunji, you don't want to face Costas though.
Anyone? You you have any? You finished? Yeah. Any other questions? Please feel free. Anything you'd like to know about the show, about the boxer here, about how it's running and working?
What are you going to say? Well, on June, which dates is going to be the show?
July the 6th.
So July. Where is it? Is it your home or?
Same Lee Valley, but it's four shows in Lee Valley.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, 6th of July.
Next.
Any other questions? Any questions for any of the boxers?
Go on, Jay.
Yeah, Jay.
Costas, how do you what's your vision going forward for Premier Boxing Promotions?
Well, the vision for Premier Boxing, as I said, to give a platform for boxers to showcase themselves, to develop, it's a platform to move on, achieve their goals, their dreams, their ambitions, but also for Premier Boxing to be a key player in the promotion world, not just in this country, but I believe internationally as well. And we've got some very good relationships with all the promoters, Mo Pryor, Steve Goodwin, Matchroom, Frank Warren. We've got, it's an and, I believe promotion should be an and, not either or. And we're all here to help and work with each other to bring the best out of these amazing sportsmen, because boxing, for me, I've trained in boxing as I sparred with, he was very kind to me in that day, but yeah. No, I didn't. Thank you for allowing me to do that. Yeah, but what I'm saying is a hard sport, and they train tirelessly, and they don't get the same kind of rewards as you get, saying football and things like that. They work so hard to be in the square circle. So that's the vision behind Premier, to help these young people, all people, to achieve their dreams and aspirations. All the questions are directed to me. Any questions?
Come on, Suleimanu, come on, man. You got a question for
Yes.
Costas. I know you have.
Carl
and then Suleimanu. You're not getting out of this, Suleimanu.
Hello? Alright, so I just wanted to ask, this is a general kind of question because I'm a boxing fan first and foremost, so I'm always trying to find new knowledge and stuff. So it's a question for every single boxer here, right? Every fighter or people that train have always got like a special thing that's kind of unique to them, you know, like Marquez, for example, he might drink wheelie or something. So some man might sleep on the floor, you know, like 5 weeks before the thing. Some people do certain things, you know, like some people have a special drink, like that they might make or something, like. So it's just like each boxer, I'd like to know if there's one thing that you do different to everybody else. You don't have to give away your top secrets or nothing, but just something that you find that you do different that nobody else doesn't do. That kind of benefits you with your training and helps you prepare for your fight. So I'll start with Kia.
Me personally, what I like to do before a fight is I'll go down to Primark, I'll buy 2 fresh pairs of socks, and that's what I like to box. I like to box in fresh pairs of socks, and I like to wear 2, double them up, so it's nice and bouncy when I'm in the ring. I feel like I've got a bit more movement. If I've only got 1 pair of socks, it was a bit flat. Just mentally, I feel like, it's not going to move well. So that's what I like to do. That I feel like not a lot of people like to do. I wear 2 socks and they have to be brand new.
That's interesting. No, I appreciate that.
My one is just basically meditate and pray, basically. Just keep my mind clear. Let the task at hand, innit? That's really what it is.
But as I was saying, I was obviously there at the show with his boxing, and I must say you are definitely a boxer, and on top of that, I would say you are a stylist. You're very stylishly good how you box.
Skills, baby.
Yeah, yeah, but it looks good too.
Yeah, man. Respect.
Yeah, so what I do, I've been doing this for maybe 2 years now, is I sleep on the floor. I don't sleep in a bed for 2 reasons. The first being, I think it's just better for your body. I mean, you sleep in a soft bed and you wake up in the morning and it's hard to get out of bed to go and run and cycle and do the things that you need to do. So I feel like when you sleep on the floor, you're just a bit more fresh when you get up. You've been moving through the night as well. So like biomechanically, I mean, it's good for you. Yeah, I feel stretched in the morning when I wake up. And then the second reason is that I'm sleeping on the floor, so mentally, I've made myself the underdog of my own life. You know what I mean? It's like there's a saying in boxing that it's difficult to wake up for rounds in the morning when you've been sleeping in silk sheets. Yeah. So I sleep on the floor, and it gives me that extra. When I wake up in the morning, I know, okay, today I need to do something to strive, because I've started my day on the floor. You know what I mean? I'm at the bottom now. So every day I wake up with the attitude of something needs to happen. I need to go and make it happen. You know what I mean? So yeah, that helps me.
I just do yoga. That's it. Okay. Yeah, helps me stretch, relax. That's it.
I just want to say that we share the same thing. Sorry, it's right. I'm not doing it anymore. You can do it.
Alright, Chris, I've got a question for you and your brother. We're all back in the days, boxers back to fight again, jump in the ring. When are we going to see the both of you fighting with Deathstroke?
Yeah.
Talking about the both of you, now one.
I didn't know. I'm probably going to get this every single press conference we get. I'm training for the marathon, which is in 5 weeks, and it's 26 miles, so it's quite challenging. So once that's done, I'm hoping my fitness will be back. And then I told my dad yesterday, I said, look, possibly the July show, so maybe with you as well. But like boxing is 110%. I've had a child this year, I'm married, so I haven't boxed with these dynamics in my life yet. So I'm going to start, after the marathon's done, I'm going to get back to my boxing, and I'm going to see where I end up, because it's her business. You don't just take it lightly. So if I get in there, it's when I'm full 100% again. If for any reason it doesn't work out training-wise, I'm not going to risk my head for anything. So we'll see. And then we can stop asking this question. So basically, I'm hoping the marathon gives me that little springboard back into fitness into sparring into a fight. So that's my plan.
What about Chris?
Yeah, I'm in a similar boat where everyone, you know, I should give out cards with these answers, frequently asked questions. But no, it's a good question. It's the first time I'm actually speaking out about this publicly. But you know, I don't want to. I love boxing so much I would never want to disrespect the sport. And when I trained and it was my life. I wouldn't think of anything else. I gave up everything to box, and you know, like you should, because boxing's a poor man's sport, and the poorest men in the world usually become the best fighters because they've got nothing and they want to fight for something. And I've been doing it for 14, 15 years. You know, I fought 56 times, and in the last few fights I only had one hand, which people could say it's an excuse. It wasn't, because I chose to get in the ring and I didn't have that excuse. They didn't say, oh, we've got one hand. You know, I kept breaking my right hand. And in the title fight that I won, I broke my hand in the first round. I showed my heart, I showed my grit. Don Charles even took the mic at the end and said, everyone, by the way, he had a broken hand in the first round and he still won. So I showed that, I proved that to myself. And then the fight after that, I could still feel the damage in my hand. And I thought, you know what, let me take some time out of the ring. And in that time, I sort of built a life that I've really grown to love, and I'm happy. You know, I'm an actor now. I've got a personal training business, which I'm helping, you know, people, you know, reach their dreams of their own life and their fitness and things. And at the moment, I'm happy. And until that passion sort of comes back, then I'll see if I want to grace the ring again. But you've got You know what, I think one day I need to wake up and say, I want to get in the ring again. Because if you don't have that passion, don't fight. You know, I'm not a journeyman, I'm not going to fight for money, I'm going to fight because I love the sport. And I don't want to discredit the sport by just fighting, or just because my dad's a promoter now, you know, all attention on me. It's not about me, it's about these new fighters, and I'm just here to help. So that's, in a nutshell, I hope that answered you.
Anyway, I just also want to just introduce Verity, will be MC as well, being part of the team on the 20th of April. If you just, let's give a welcome. Okay, any other questions? Yes.
Good evening. My question is to the boxers. What do you think has been your biggest obstacle you've had to overcome?
boxing or just in life, in boxing, the hardest thing I think I've overcome in terms of boxing is the food, man. I love food, I love carbs, you know, Jamaican background, fried dumplings, all these kind of things. I don't get to have this no more. This is now I'm eating fish and spinach and, you know, water and with lemon in it and all this kind of thing. So nice. So that's, to me, that's literally, I'm like, yeah, do you know what, after this fight, like, you know, I've got to give myself something to, you know, look forward to. But that's the most difficult thing for me in terms of the whole training camp, just to eat. Yeah, just generally too. You know, even like ice cream, I don't even want ice cream, I just want some rice. Sometimes more, you know what I mean?
Do you put weight on easily?
Do I put weight on easily? Do you know what, I don't. Like to a certain level, I can put, no I don't. Like, I put on a certain amount, I can put on weight easily, but it don't go over a certain amount, if you know what I'm saying. So it will stay somewhere, and I tend to keep in the gym before
Not
when I was actually
76
fighting.
then, so it's higher than 77.
No, never 77. It will stop somewhere.
About 73?
That's more like it. If I get a bit greedy, then maybe 73. But you'll be able to tell. You can see me coming from a mile away. And everything's just tight. But yeah, no, it's the food that gets me. That makes me kind of, you know, wanna go. Okay, let me. But it's worth it. It's a sacrifice, isn't it?
For me, it's just structure, because I work, so it's just trying to, you know, put the time in the gym, you know. So right now, I've currently got a new job, so I'm looking to build the structure so I can be in the gym all the time, you know, so I can perfect these skills. So that's what it really is really for me.
You know, with this sport, it takes a lot of sacrifice, not just from, I mean, Keelan talks about diet, but, and Chavez spoke about time, but just like socially, like, I mean, I went to university that I couldn't really experience feeling because I was boxing at the time. And then my family, like, I mean, no mother wants to see their son box. And yeah, I mean, the rest of my family, they've had to live with my lifestyle over the last 8 years. You get one-track minded with it. You get into this cycle of sacrifice to try and prepare for fights, and then so me, for the majority of my amateur career, I mean, I was doing it to the detriment of everything else in my life. Everything else could have set fire, and as long as boxing was okay, I was cool. You know what I mean? Even if I was on fire on the inside, boxing, as long as boxing's cool, I was cool. So for me, turning professional, and like I'm a bit older now, I guess 25 years old. What? For me, the obstacle that I overcame at the beginning of my professional career was conquering my own mentality, not being so one-track minded, so tunnel vision towards the fight, and just having a bit more balance in my life. So it just makes you feel better. You wake up in the morning feeling good, like, okay, this day is achievable, you know what I mean? So yeah, for me, that was my big obstacle.
I would say mine is dietary restrictions, as previously mentioned. It's hard to walk past, take a great shot, and you see the food and you have to go past and not actually, you can't eat it. And actually, as Hamza said, you get invited places and you know you can't really eat there, so you have to just turn it down. That's it.
Suleimanu. Can you please ask Costas about Premier Boxing and what the connection with Ghana is and what they're going to be doing with Ghanaian boxers?
We've already discussed that.
I want to hear from Mark. Yes.
I was actually.
No, I've got the question for Mark. Mark was a very well-known promoter in MMA. How does the fitness, since you've been in the boxing scene, how does the fitness and technical skills of the professional boxers compare with the world of MMA that you were so prominent in?
They've moved on miles and miles. It's a whole different ball game. Back in the early days of MMA,
any guy would just come off the street, jump in a cage and bash the crap out of each other. But as you've seen from people like Conor McGregor, they get to such a pinnacle of fitness. The whole structure of the fight games, combat sports has changed dramatically. Stamina is a winner. Even if two guys are evenly matched, the guy that's got the stamina and has done the training will win. And that's very, very important, is fitness. And I know that Costas here and the gym here give great examples to their fighters. And all these boys are so dedicated nowadays. It's just amazing. It's really incredible. Good luck to them. I couldn't do it, that's for sure.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Is that the end of the questions? Now I'm going to give over to Nick to have the final words in conclusion.
Not much to say, just thank you very much, everybody. A lot of good sportsmanship shown and competitiveness, and we all look forward to seeing you all on the 20th of April. Tickets Log Sports Centre. Thank you.
Photos from anyone, feel free to take them. We can move the tables, you can stand and take photos again. Do you want to say something?
Yes, just quickly, I'd like to say thanks to you guys for putting on another boxing show, so all these pro boxers get an opportunity to perform. That's one of my boxers, Tunji, Uncle T. Also Kian, Tech Thomas and Chavez. And I've also got Tony Band on the show, so I've got 3 boxers playing on the show. And I'm looking forward to getting Tunji on the next one, so thank you.
Pleasure. Or talk, chat, mingle,